top build. They beat earnings nicely. They were up 1%. Alibaba, BABA, raised their buyback to 15 billion, but their Q2 revenue disappointed, so they were down pretty sharply. COP down 1%. That's ConocoPhillips. Eli Lilly down 2% on a sales miss. And finally, Zebra Technologies, that's ZBRA, they were up 2% as earnings missed for Q2, but they issued a stronger than expected Q3 outlook. And excuse me for that long-winded news, but it is earnings season. So why don't we head now into the market analysis. I'll share my screen here. Close that. And Chris, we've got continued confirmed uptrend according to IBD's analysis within the major averages. And here I've got the S&P 500, and I guess the market pre-market was showing small gains of about 0.2% across the board. You can see on the left side that pretty much we're opening around that level. Take us through the current action of the major indexes, and please, let's start with the S&P.
Well, the action's been nice, just consolidating over the last week, going sideways, letting the moving averages catch up. The S&P wasn't too extended from its 50-day, not like the Qs we're getting. So, but I like the sideways action. I guess the one thing that was surprising and IWM, the Russell Small Cap reversed off the 50-day, as yields plunged and there was a lot of negative action, and that's really stopped at the last the prior 3 days. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. It's always nice when everything's working in tandem.
Absolutely. The Russell 2000 is still nursing a 4% loss for the quarter. And you want to look at the NASDAQ composite, see how that's opening?
Sure.
Well? Yeah. Let's go to COMP on Thinkorswim, and that's COMP:GIDS. There's a ticker there. And
yes, so a little inside day so far, down a little. It's still up, but below the close, which is why it's a red on the candlestick.
Yeah, that reflected that reversal. Here's the 5-minute intraday bar here, and you can see right off the bat we're a little bit off the highs right there. How about you, David? What's could you review for the audience your stance in the market and whether you've made any changes in terms of exposure over the past week?
Well, I've increased my exposure, but I'm still around 50%. And because you've had some nice stocks, a few stocks that have broken out. AMD is one of those that's had a nice little run. So the individual stocks are giving me a lot, as always. Sort of dictate how invested I am. If I can find enough stocks to buy, then I would be fully invested. I still don't see that right now. The thing I do see on the index is if you go to the Russell, as you said, it's down, and the little concerning thing about the Russell is that it's now back living below its 50-day moving average. Now, I guess you can just say, okay, it's all been sideways for about 4 or 5 months now on that Russell. But if you look at I'm looking at it at a MarketSmith chart, but the relative strength line has really been falling off, and is really in a downtrend. And the other thing that's a little, I always look for this: how fast does an index or a stock move down? How fast does it move back up? And if you look at the time period, let's see, like on 7/14, 7/15, for 4 days, 4 or 5 days, you went down, and you went down on some pretty big volume. And it looks like all 4 of those days were above average daily volume. And now you've rallied back up, but it's taken 2 weeks to get back what was lost in just 4 days, and on a number of those days it was on lighter volume. So it's just telling me that that's the weakest index, which is a concern because a lot of it seems like a lot of growth names seem to go along with that the Russell 2000. Yeah, but and then and then the other indexes just seem to be going sideways, and it seems like the indexes, like the triple Qs and the spiders, have been stronger than what the underlying market has been doing. So that's why I'm kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but going after going after a stock that sets up just right. I'm not gonna say, oh, I can't buy it because the index looks funny. If a stock is setting up perfectly and it's got some great earnings, I'm gonna go after and buy a full position in that stock.
Well, speaking of stocks that are moving, I want to go to ZI right away. And Chris, this is one of the ones you like to feature right away, and really great start right now.
Yeah, breakaway gap. This one has been a little bit of a mystery because the numbers have been so good and it's struggled over the last few months, and so now breaking away. And if we look at it on the weekly, what's nice to see is not the highest price yet in its history, but it if it can hold here, this would be the highest close.
This is quite
looks like you might be on best fit rather than standard fit right now.
Okay. Let's change that. Sure. Well,
yeah, go to price scale standard.
Yeah, I think it is. No,
you have to hit it. It's
let's try it
there
again.
We go.
All right,
that looks a little less
yeah, a little less frightening.
It is a volatile stock, but that's
exactly.
Right.
Let me refresh the weekly chart so that those other lines appear there. There we go. Right, and just like you said, there, Chris, the depth of this base is not as deep as that prior looking chart. 37%, just a few percentage points above the maximum that we kind of like to see. But could you also talk about what you see as positives within the actual price and volume action?
It's kind of half and half because there was some big volume on the left side, then a big blue spike came, then the volume picked up as it was coming lower, and then the reversal off the bottom. Well, the price action was good. It didn't have real power behind it, and then we did get a nice big spike when it retook the 210-week moving average. So it seems 50-50 to me. What about you, David? What do you think?
But at this, it's had such a choppy history.
Right.
I wouldn't be buying it on this gap up, and it looks like it's already given up a few points from its high. I'd like to see it settle down or drift down for a couple of weeks, and then resume. I mean, the earnings look great. I think 100, 160, 140. So fundamentally, it looks very, very good. But from a buy point, this is something I would be watching.
We also have DocuSign and Shopify in this industry group. So if you have 8 to 10 full positions in your portfolio and you're fully invested, if you're not fully invested right now and you're being more selective, if you already have either DocuSign and or Shopify in your portfolio, we know those have been the leaders, especially DocuSign, in my view. This is yet another one in that group, which bodes well, but I don't know if you want to also have another one in your portfolio.
Well, it's a good point. We can go to DocuSign right now, and DOCU, which broke out ahead of ZI. David, please take it away here.
Yeah, well, this has made a great move from 200. Now this, and also I like the big picture is this stock had been going sideways for 3 quarters, 3 and a fraction quarters. So that's a good long base. And now it came up from the bottom, and I didn't buy it as it broke through and came up from the bottom. I waited for that first pullback, which was down that 21-day moving average. On my chart, it's a green line. And yeah, you've got it too. Same thing. Mm-hmm. And that's where I picked it up, because it pulled back on lighter volume, and then it had a really nice move off that. Now, when I was watching the show yesterday,